What is going on, everyone? It's Nero again, here for you, some Call of Duty Ghost, and today we're playing a little bit of Domination here on the map Stonehaven, and this is one of those games, which I don't get a ton of, so let me kid you on that. It's one of those games where I was the alpha male of this lobby. Everything seemed to go my way, I was a big part of my team, it's a really close game, it's an all-around great gameplay. I hope you guys all enjoy watching it as much as you guys enjoy listening to this week's episode of Dear Nero, which is a weekly series here on my channel where you guys send me in fan mail and or fan questions, and I do my best to go ahead and answer them. We do this series every Wednesday, and before we hop into it, I kind of want to say that in the past couple episodes, I feel as though that I haven't answered enough questions, right? I feel as though I'm getting like 5 questions in, but I'm giving them really long answers, and I'm not answering a ton of questions. So for this week's episode, we're going to kind of switch it up a bit. It's be kind of a Q&A rapid-fire format, with the exception of the very first question, which is kind of a longer question, which in return demands a longer answer. Let's hop on this with that first question. He's going to write, Dear Nero, you mentioned in many videos how you hunt deer and other innocent animals every now and again, and how you basically think it's a good thing to do. I wanted to ask you, don't you think that the deer/animals you kill have feelings? They don't harm you in any way, do they? I can't believe at this day and age that people can kill animals for fun, other living things. It makes me sick how people think that they can kill innocent animals for fun. They have a life, just leave them alone. How do you think that the deer feel when they get murdered? How do you think the mother felt hearing the cry of their young calf? And to point out, a baby deer is not called a calf, it's called a fawn. Now, next, we're going to continue on with the question here. I was just wondering if you could reply to this, because it baffles me on how you could do this and how you can just laugh at this and how you find it as a relaxing and fun thing to do. I hope you read this question to the end. I am a loyal subscriber. I'm a vegetarian as well. I was wondering if you could reply with an intelligent answer, or if you accept it's wrong, etc. Mark. So Mark, I've done a couple takes of this commentary. I say at the beginning, right, that I want to make this a quicker one where I kind of rapid fire answers, right? And I keep finding myself replying like a 5 or 6 minute reply to this question. So I hunt. I do hunt deer. I only shoot buck, which to kind of break down the deer system for you guys, if you guys aren't hunters, a buck is an adult male deer. A doe is an adult female deer. And a fawn is a baby deer. This could be a boy or a girl. They're smaller. They have a bunch of white fur all over their backs and whatnot. They're fawns, okay? I only hunt buck, and here's why. So, some animal species are like this, right? And wolves, I know for a fact wolves, or I think wolves are this way. And if you guys know any more animal species other than wolves, let me know in the comment section. Not a lot of animals are like humans, in that when a man gets a woman pregnant, they kind of stay with the woman. That doesn't happen in nature a lot. I know certain species do, but I can't like rapid fire just name them all off because I don't know them all. But I do know that I'm aware of it, right? Deer don't do that. A buck gets a doe pregnant, then goes and gets another doe pregnant, then another, then another, then another. They don't stay together, right? So when you shoot the buck, you're not hurting anything. Even at a young age, I understood that I don't really like shooting doe. Because when I shot the doe, I'm like, oh, that might be someone's mama, right? Because think of a kitten. You know, your cat has kittens. Up until a certain point, those kittens need the mom cat to stay alive. But once they reach that certain point, they can live on their own. I feel as though deer are the same way. You know, if I were to shoot a doe and the fawns were just, you know, there might be some fawns out there that no longer have a mom. And I don't like that. And of course, what's the point of shooting a baby deer? There's no point in that. So I don't shoot fawn either. So I only hunt buck, and a couple reasons. One, I was raised with it, and my whole family, I've been raised with guns. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. We really didn't have a lot of money, like barely any. So much so at certain points that we would go for a couple years, and we'd basically only eat deer because we couldn't afford beef. You know, when my dad would go hunting, this is when I was really young, my dad would go hunting, he would have to make sure he got all his tags filled so he can get all the deer he possibly could. And even then, some of like my uncles who would maybe get both a buck and a doe, you know, maybe they'd keep the meat for the buck, but that's all the meat they need, so they'd give us their doe meat. You know, we're not wasteful in that regard. You know, growing up, we ate like deer every freaking day because that's all we could afford. You know, it's essentially free food, and that's what we used. We're much better off now, by the way, but growing up, deer was a big thing, and I still hunt. You know, it's a It's just a cultural thing at this point. And you say you're a vegetarian, and I understand that. I've never actually met a vegetarian, but a lot of people in the world aren't. And that's how the world works. We're humans. We kill animals and make food. And if you're wondering like maybe how the animals feel when they're dying, unless you're a bad shot, they don't feel anything. They just drop. They have no idea they're even being shot at. Unless you're like me, I accidentally shot a buck in the stomach once and had to track it for a big mess. But that's my answer, man. It's something I've always done. It's something that's not morally wrong, and the only people who have a problem with it are vegetarians. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I am a long-time subscriber, and I've been around since around the first DLC in Black Ops 2, and I've never asked you a question on Dear Nero. My question to you is, do you enjoy fan art? By the way, I sent you the logo I did in art. Keep up the great content. Your favorite sub, Richard from England. So this guy, I know him. I don't know him personally, but I know him via Twitter. He sent me a drawing he did in art class of my channel logo, which you guys checked out my channel logo. It's got the little Santa hat there. It's adorable. I would have taken that off after the holiday season, but yeah, he drew my logo, the N, right? And I thought that was so cool. It's the first actual like fan art-ish stuff I've ever gotten. That's never happened before. So yeah, I love that stuff. I love that stuff a ton. I wish more people would send stuff. That'd be cool. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, will you ever be making a Skyrim Let's Play on your Let's Play channel or your main channel? You haven't used your Let's Play channel in a while, and I think it would be a great idea to start it back up. You said in your future gaming video that you like Borderlands 2, Red Dead Redemption, and Skyrim, which you have playthroughs of Borderlands 2 and Red Dead Redemption, but not Skyrim. Why do you do that? Just to be clear, I still love you, Raymond from Alabama. So believe it or not, going through Dear Nero questions this week, I actually got a bunch of them asking for a Skyrim Let's Play. The reason I've never done a Skyrim Let's Play is because it would be a freaking long Let's Play. Like, you're talking Skyrim, you're talking freaking 150 episodes, man. It took 100 episodes to completely go through Ultimate Vault Hunter mode in Borderlands 2. And right after we finally got to, like, level 61 level cap and you got through 3 playthroughs, they put out another DLC to make it go up to 72. I'm like, no, we've beaten this game 3 times. It's been 100 episodes. I'm not doing it anymore. And so, it's a lot of work to do that, and I've already beaten the game before, and it just might not be as fun, but I'm definitely considering, because I just tried out the Zombie Apocalypse mod, and it was pretty cool. I'm considering maybe in the future, maybe, we're putting it out there as a maybe, which usually my maybes mean no, but maybe still, I might do some Skyrim mods on yours Let's Plays. There's a lot of cool mods. I tried the Zombie Apocalypse one. It was pretty cool, and yeah, we'll see about that. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I'm a longtime fan of your channel, and I was wondering, what was your inspiration for starting your channel, and do you picture yourself getting 1 million subscribers? William from Michigan. Well, William, trying to remember everyone I used to watch. I think there was no set one person that was my inspiration for YouTube. It was kind of a conglomerate thing of a bunch of people I watched, right? Back in the day, I watched Hutch and Wings and Beyond and XCOW, basically the grandfathers of the Call of Duty community. And just watching them, as well as a bunch of other trickling, slightly smaller YouTubers at the time, HQ Fighter comes to mind, just made me want to start posting. There was no set one inspiration. But do I see myself getting 1 million subscribers? No, that is just absurd. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, are you ever going to play the DayZ standalone game that was just released on Steam? If so, what series are you thinking of making? And one more thing, what genre of music do you enjoy the most? Emerson from Wisconsin. So the DayZ standalone game just came out technically 2 days ago, right? It's hard to tell. I'm recording this at 8:30 in the morning. So yeah, it came out. I downloaded it, and it's an alpha. It's an alpha stage right now. It's a early release game. You can get early access game, I guess is the term, for $30. Which basically, I have it now in alpha. I'll have it in beta. I'll have it in the actual full release of the game. But right now, I don't know. Didn't like it very much. There's it's lacking too many things at this point for me to really enjoy it. For the first part, I spawned in the middle of the woods and had to run for seemingly 30 minutes till I found my first building, just to find out I can't even get inside that building until I eventually come upon a shed, which I found a can of beans and 3 zombies, which killed me. After playing for 45 minutes, that's all that happened. I ran, looked around, ran, looked around, saw 3 zombies in that time and a can of beans and died. As well as, it's just, it's buggy. It's really buggy right now, but it's an alpha, and I'm definitely going to keep track of that as it progresses through the stages. As well as my favorite genre of music, I don't know. Classic rock, maybe? I don't know. That's what's always on my radio in my car. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that as an answer. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, recently I went to go replay Call of Duty World at War, and I noticed at the end of the initial loading screen that there's a zap noise much similar to the one in your video outro. I was wondering if it was the same thing, or am I the only one to ever figure this out? Love your videos, Agent 9400 from Georgia. Agent, you are correct. The screen closing, the TV turn off, tube sound thingy animation doohickey that you see at the end of each and every one of my videos, assuming of course you watch all of them to the end, is in fact the very last scene you see in the introduction to Call of Duty World at War. Good job on that. And I think you are probably the first person to ever figure that out. Probably. I don't know. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I was just looking through my subscription feed, and I am subscribed to official MLG of COD, and I saw that it was Team Dare versus Team Strictly Business. Their symbol or clan tag is SB, just like yours, and I was confused because I haven't seen you play with any of the people that were on their team. I was wondering if you knew about this. I am a longtime subscriber, and keep up the great work. Sincerely, Dylan from Arizona. Mr. Dylan from Arizona, there is a Team SB. It's a competitive team, and I don't know them. They gave us a bunch of flack. I started a Team SB back in 2008, going into 2009. And, well, no, 2009 going into 2010. Give that an extra year. And no, I'm not affiliated with these people. You know, they were really nobody at the time. You know, I, of course, didn't hear of them. Then they heard of us because we had a semi-successful YouTube channel, Team SB did. And they heard of us, started sending all kinds of messages. Oh, we were SB first. Blah, 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 blah. But at the time, Team Strictly Business, as they're known, they were basically, picture going to GameBattles.com, looking at the top 50 teams for the of whatever ladder, and they assume that they're like legitimate because they're on GameBattles.com, I guess. Which what makes us more legitimate for being on YouTube? I don't know. Basically, we both started pretty early. It's kind of hard to tell who started Team SB first because they're two separate things. Me personally, I don't really care. I'm not married to Team SB or Strictly Business or anything. SB Nero is a thing. It's definitely something that's part of me now. SB Nero is actually a search result at this point. So I'm never going to change my name from SB Nero. But if this pro team, which is apparently doing pretty good for themselves, if they get butthurt about it, I'll change my name to Sticky Buns or something. I don't know. Just SB, their letters, get over it. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, has a subscriber ever recognized you in public? Trevor from Illinois. Trevor, no. Probably because no one knows what I look like. So, yeah, no subscribers have ever recognized me. And next and final question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, are you feeling 22? Steven from Ohio. Well, I don't know about you, Steven, but I'm feeling 22. And that was this week's episode of Dear Nero. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and hopefully you guys all found it satisfactory. And hopefully I answered a lot more questions this week than I typically do in a standard episode of Dear Nero. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be. I'd have to go check the playlist, but I believe this was the 70th episode of Dear Nero, which is, whew, that's a lot of episodes. That's a lot of talking. That's a lot of questions. That's a lot of answering. That's a lot of Q&A that we got going on here. But I like it. I like Dear Nero. It's one of my favorite videos to do every week. Mainly because I don't have to think. That's my favorite part. I just have to answer questions. One of the toughest parts about being a YouTuber is trying to come up with an idea every day or every other day that you think people will find interesting. Dear Nero is awesome. You guys come up with the stuff. It's freaking great. Blow my mind. But it was a fun episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Remember, leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And if you guys like your question featured on next week's episode of Dear Nero, send me a personal message here on YouTube. Make the title of the message Dear Nero. And if it's a good question and an entertaining question, and most of all, a question I have not yet answered before, I'll look through them. I'll consider which ones I think would be the best for the show, and I will put them on. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Remember, leave a rating. Hope you guys all Pizza, pizza, pizza. I love pizza. Have one for day.
I was banging 7 gram rocks, that's how I roll. I got one